Hey, good Friday morning. I've got May 29th, 2026, Ken Arizona Talking Baseball, promoting a book I wrote, Yearly Leaders of Every Batting Category. Chapter 9 in this book, Top 5 Baseball Players in History with the Best Slugging Percentage in a Season. This video, 1890 through 1899. Who were the sluggers? Top 5. Roger Connor, 547 slugging percentage. Buck Ewing, 545. Dave Orr, 534. Denny Lyons, 531. Jake Beckley, 529. 1891 season. Dan Brothers. I mentioned him in my last video. Did you know that Dan Brothers, he's in the Baseball Hall of Fame, made the top 5 in slugging percentage 10 times? 8 times in the 1890s, 2 times in 1900s. Okay, so let's see. 1891, Dan Brothers, 512 slugging. John Milligan, 505. Harry Stovey, 498. Mike Timon, 494. Duke Farrell, 474. I know you haven't heard some of these guys, but they made the top 5. So it's noteworthy for the 1891 season. 1892, Ed Delante, 495 slugging. Dan Brothers, 480. Buck Ewing, 473. Roger Connor, 463. Thomas Burns, 454. 1893, Ed Delante, 583. George Davis, 554. Sam Thompson, second time for him, 565. Elmer Smith, 525. How about Billy Hamilton, 524? 1894, Sam Thompson, listen to this, 696 slugging. See, most of these guys in the 1870s and 80s are about 400 or 500 slugging. How about Sam Thompson, 696? Hugh Duffy, 694. So now we're getting guys in the 600s slugging. Bill Joyce, 648. Joe Kelly, 602. Ed Delante, 495. 1895 season, Sam Thompson, 654. Ed Delante, 617. Jack Clemens, 612. Bill Lane, 575. Joe Kelly, 546. 1896 season, Ed Delante again. So how many times did he make the top 5? Let's see. Ed Delante. Top 5 slugging. 10 times in his career, and he only played 16 years. So that guy was a slugger. So 1896, 631. Bill Danlon, 553. Tom McCreary, 546. Joe Kelly, 543. Jesse Burkett, 541. 1897 season, top 5. Nap Lajoie, 569. Willie Keeler, 539. Ed Delante, 538. Fred Clark, 530. George Davis, 509. 1898 season, John Anderson, 494. Jimmy Collins, Hall of Fame, 479. Nap Lajoie, 460. Ed Delante, 454. Billy Hamilton, 453. 1899 season, Ed Delante. I told you, 10 times in his career, top 5. He goes for 582 slugging percentage, 1899 season. Buck Freeman, 563. Jimmy Williams, 530. Honus Wagner, 501. Jesse Burkett, 500. So in the 1890s, who stood out? Ed Delante. I'm counting in the 1890s, 8 times slugging, Ed Delante, out of 10 seasons. Who else? Well, let's see. Sam Thompson a couple times. Nap Lajoie a couple. George Davis. Billy Hamilton. How about that? Willie Keeler got in there. Willie Keeler is a small guy, right? But he got in the slugging percentage, top 5. Dan Brothers a couple. Dan Brothers finished with 10 seasons, also top 5. Mostly the 1880s. So give the 1890s to Ed Delante as far as slugging percentage. Too bad that guy, he played 16 years, died young, but died in his 30s. Fell off Niagara Falls. Read the story about that guy. Put a Google search in him if you don't know the story. On a train, drunk. So the conductor kicks him off the train. So Ed Delante's in the middle of the night is kicked off a train, walking on the tracks. Now it's near the Niagara Falls area. And it's late at night. Apparently, he was wasted. He was drunk. 3 things could have happened. He slipped and fell into Niagara Falls and died. We know he died because they found his body a week later. So that's the first scenario. He slipped and fell. Second scenario, he was pushed. But that's not very likely because how many guys are walking on the tracks late at night around Niagara Falls near a train? That's not very a likely scenario that he got pushed by some stranger. So I don't believe that one. The third scenario is Ed Delante was so wasted, but he was aware of his surroundings and he says, you know what, I'm going to give up on life. Committed suicide and jumped into Niagara Falls. They found his mangled body about a week later. What a tragedy, because this guy was a pretty good hitter. 346 career batting average. Had about 2,600 hits in 18 years. He was on pace for 3,000 hits. Had over 500 doubles, and his career slugging percentage over 500. 346 career batting average. And he dies at, I think, age 35, right around there. He had 5 more years to go. What a tragedy, but also what a strange story. He's on a train. And he's belligerent, is that the right word? He's out of control. So the train conductor says, we've had it with you, guy. You're off the train. So late at night, I don't know if the train stopped or if it was moving, but they kicked him off a train near Niagara Falls. So he's off the train, walking on the tracks. A week later, they find his mangled body dead. What happened? Strange story, and this guy's career is over. Very strange. All right, so anytime I talk about Ed Delante, I have to bring up that story. I bought the book, The Story of Ed Delante's Career. Interesting guy in baseball history. What could have been. All right, that's the 1890s. Next video, 1900 through 1909. I want to look, and I'm curious, which top 5 baseball players in history made the best slugging percentage in the 1900s, 1900 through 1909. And I'm going to keep going through the century until we get to 2025. Let's see what the percentages are. So far, the highest percentage, slugging percentage, is Levi Merrill's 700 in 1871, but that was only 60 games. We've had some guys in the 600s, but most of the guys about a 500 slugging percentage. What are their percentages in the 1900s? I'll look at it next. I'm out.